Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga.
Dr. Thomas Kalayil, a scholar, a great priest, and it is a great honor for us to meet him today. We are at the Aramaic College campus in Bangalore, where he is a professor, and today is 21st of July 2014, Sunday. So, Father Kalayil, thank you for sparing your time. Could you please sing chant Sagdin and Mar and explain the context in which it was used? And
yeah, you see, before the introduction of the vernacular, we were having church ceremonies, especially with, in connection with festivities. And during the festivity of our Lord, the statue of our Lord was carried in procession. And once I heard my Father Rector singing thrice a chant which is meaningful. So the meaning of this is we adore your divinity and humanity without doubt, O Lord. No, so he sang it thrice like this, no, with a low voice and a little more raised voice, and at the peak of his voice, no. Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga. Then after each strophe he would be incensing also the statue. Then the last one, Sagdinanmar lalahu sag Valnashu sag Dilapulaga. It was incensing the statue before taking it in procession, or before installing it for the festivity.
Can you say that this chant was composed in Kerala, or did we inherit it from the Chaldean church?
I do not know actually. I do not know. If the festivity was of a saint, ordinary saint, the chant would be different and it would be sung thrice, but I will just sing only once. The content is this: the prayers, the prayer of the athlete be a strong wall from the evil one and his powers. That is. Slow se das leta shura tehvelan min beleliya we mama min bi shauhaile. Beleliya we mama, I did not translate it. That means during night and day. Then during the festivity of Our Lady, this was sung thrice. That is, Vedad Yauma Negdol Klila Basmira Likar Mariam.
Basmirasa. Not Dasmira.
No. Basmirasa.
Oh, really? Basmirasa.
Basmirasa, through chants. No, that is the meaning.
Oh, then I have sang it wrong in the CD.
Basmirasa, Likar Mariam. For the glory of Mary.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. please explain why Kandisha is better.
You see, among us, these letters, base, gamal, dalas, when they are doubled in writing or in pronunciation, they are given a nasal sound. That is very important. That is a peculiarity for us alone. The Arab-speaking Syriac Christians do not have this. And also the Surais of Trichur, originally they must have had it. Therefore, you see, for example, for Rabba, we pronounce Ramba. Actually, that has been retained also by the Jacobites and the other denominations of Kerala in calling their priest Ramban. Actually, it is written Rabban, but it is pronounced Ramban. So also another word, Lemba, heart. So in the West they may be pronouncing it as Lebba, but we are pronouncing it as Lemba. Another word with gamal is planga. Pe lamad gamal alep. But that gamal is given a nasal sound, planga. Unespas Mariam Nivisaha se Dahron planga bihida. This is the biblical words taken from the Exodus narratives.
What was the meaning?
Mary, the sister of Aaron, took the harp in her hands.
How come you remembered that verse in particular?
Because we were singing it in our canonical office. That is why.
As a chant?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you recall a few more verses from that?
I don't remember actually. It was there in our canonical office, that I know.
So what happened to those texts?
Those texts have been now no more used, that is.
Nobody translated that?
No, nobody translated. As I know.
So this was a chant based on the text from Exodus.
Exodus.
Please sing it once again, please.
Unesbas Mariam Nivisaha se Daron Tanga Bihida. So just after crossing the sea, these people are said to have sung a song under the leadership of Miriam. And this is what is the context.
Wow. Well, this is great. I'm just trying to recall. Is it is that melody one of our model melodies? Tarariram.
Yeah.
Tara. What do we say? What is the tarariram?
I am not a musician and therefore Yeah. There are so many other melodies which I know they are now extinct, I think.
Can you sing one?
Yeah. So during the 10 days after the feast of the Holy Eucharist, we had a kind of ramsha, evening prayers in the presence of the Holy Eucharist. After exposing the Holy Eucharist, we would be coming there in the Madhubaha, and we would be singing this Pat Ramsha or Ramsha, solemn Ramsha. So that also is now no more used. Because that was a speciality of the CMI saloon. The secular priests were not having that breviary which was called Perunal Namaskaram or canonical office for festival days. And we would go in our solemn mantle, bearing our solemn mantle, and go to the sanctuary and stand there and sing the Ramsha solemnly. And so many psalms were sung. I just remember one psalm like this with its canon. Adkresa Hanaitan Alahu Paroka Sandekos Lag Deshbota Paroken Shemsharam Bal Sandekosa Daurasek Yesharer, Kolberian. Then we continue again the psalm. No? Tadkresa Anaitan, Alahuparoka Sandikus. Then we go on reciting the psalm like that. No?
You are singing this after many years, and you don't need the text. This is imprinted in your.
Yeah, that is right. Then there is another stroke that also. Lagadeshibota cream lanavi, Sedbanavi, Baranivi, the Kantem Saru inivi, Rasai Hon. That is another canona of the same psalm, I think. No? Lagadeshibota cream lanavi, Sedbanavi, Maranivi. The Kantem Saru iniviye Brasai Hon. That means, you see, Lagadeshibota means glory to you before the prophets, and with the prophets, said Banaviye, Mare Niviye, that is the Lord of the prophets. The Kantem Saru iniviye, that means about whom the prophets prophesied in their mysteries. That is the meaning.
So is it an independent song, chant? Or?
No, it is a canona of a psalm.
Okay. So it is not part of the psalm, it is a canona.
Canona.
Okay. Could you please tell us about the contributions of Father Ludovic Kuniyandod of CMI? We don't talk about him. We talk about Father Abel in the history, but we don't talk about Father Kuniyandod because he was a good singer and scholar of the Syriac language. Please.
You see, it was he and Father Justin of our congregation who wrote first and published a book containing the notes of our traditional songs.
Yes.
And it was Father Ludovic who also introduced some Gregorian chant rhythms into the Syriac chanting. So I shall just sing one stroke from that. So in the Latin we have got, as far as I remember, the words like this: Conserva me Domine, quoniam speravi in te. So Father Ludovic Kuniyandod wanted to sing the psalms in this tune, and the psalm which was chosen by him was like this, Tambumaran Raurwais Makre Sedalahan. I don't remember the name, the number of the psalm.
What is the meaning of the text?
Our Lord is great, exceedingly great in the city of our God.
Okay. Could you please sing the Syriac text once again?
Maran Raurwais Makre Sedalahan.
Okay. Let us move on to your younger days when you were a seminarian. Where did you go to seminary?
I went to minor seminary at Manana.
And then major seminary?
First, the second year was at Mukoli. And then we had the novitiate at Chettipura, and the juniorate also at Chettipura. Then I came to Dharmaram College.
Oh, you're a product of
Dharmaram. Yes. I came in the second year after its beginning. This was begun in 1957. I came here as a student in 1959.
Okay. Now, what was the level of Syriac literacy that you had during your priestly formation?
Well, you see, it was like this, When we came to Mananam for the first year of our aspirancy, our major courses were Latin and Syriac. So so many classes were just set apart for these two subjects. At that time we knew some grammar, English grammar, and therefore there was no problem for us to studying grammar, and therefore they started these classes. So Latin grammar classes, and Latin grammar, through Latin grammar and Syriac grammar we learned a lot of English. So Father Joseph Augustine was my professor in Syriac, and he was the professor of Father Emmanuel Kelly.
Was he a CMI priest?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were no other priests outside, from outside. So therefore, you see, he made us always translate the Syriac passages into English and never into Malayalam. And thus, for the text, for the first time, after teaching some elementary lessons of grammar, Syriac grammar, he took the Gospel according to Saint Matthew and made us translate it into English, and he was explaining all the difficult words, and therefore automatically we got a kind of composition, English composition exercise in English.
Tell us about the liturgy in those days, your community prayers and...
Yeah, well, as aspirants we had community prayers in Malayalam, but the liturgy was in Syriac, completely in Syriac. The tunes were taught to us by three priests who became three scholastic who became after priests in our congregation. Father Damien Turtumalil, Father Alexander Kolipura, and Father Augustus Tekan. These three people were our coaches during our postulancy period. During the postulancy period, they had to teach us all the tunes, so that when we entered the novitiate, we could easily take part in all the canonical prayers smoothly.
When you took part in the canonical prayers in the novitiate, did you really understand the meaning of the Syriac texts?
I understood many of the Syriac texts, only a few passages from the Psalms could not be understood, but the other portions, many of the other portions were already taken in the classes, and therefore we could understand the meaning of all this.
Did you ever talk with each other? Did you ever have a conversation in Syriac?
Well, I had a conversation in Syriac when I was studying in Rome with a Chaldean priest. A few words, that is all. And it is interesting that Father Placid could speak easily Syriac, and once it happened that when we were speaking about the death of Archbishop Kavugata of Changanasheri, a Chaldean priest came by, and he was, Father Placid was very easily telling him, Numallinen al mautad hadumin aspascoped malava. Numallinen means we are speaking al mauta, about the death of one of the bishops of Malabar. That was how he spoke Syriac.
So Father Placid was capable of speaking in Syriac?
Yes, he was capable.
I see. So when were you ordained?
I was ordained in Bombay during the Eucharistic Congress held there in 1964 on the 1st of December. That is why I am celebrating the Golden Jubilee of my ordination this year.
Yes. And was there any Syriac chanting at that time? The ordination prayers were recited by the bishop in Syriac at that time. Really?
The other ceremonies were in Malayalam. Because at that time it was precept in a way compulsory to speak, to pronounce these consecration or ordination words in Syriac, and therefore the bishop was speaking in reciting the prayer in Syriac.
When was your first mass? Where?
On the second day, on the first day after, that means on the 2nd of December 1964, I said my first mass in a church, in a Latin church in Bombay, which was called the Church of Saint Joseph the Worker. Then I offered my first mass solemnly at Chetipura only in December after Christmas.
Yes. Were your parents alive?
Yeah, my parents were alive.
What do you think is the future of the Syriac language in the Syro-Malabar Church?
Well, I don't think that it is going to be a prominent language in the future among the clergy, because it is the clergy that has to promote it, no? And in many places there is no priest who knows Syriac now. And in the minor seminaries they are not teaching except in Changanasheri. They are promoting the studies, but fortunately there is a center for Syriac instruction at Kottayam under the auspices of the Diocese of Tiruvalla, that is called CERI, St. Ephraim Ecumenical Research Center. There they are teaching Syriac language, and mainly West Syriac, but East Syriac also is promoted by them, and that has been affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University, and therefore one can get an MA in Syriac from that institute.
Do you hope that our Syro-Malabar clergy would take an interest in the Syriac language?
I don't think, except the clergy in Changanasheri, nobody will endorse the Syriac studies in future. But there may be stray people here and there who are interested. I cannot make an overall statement like that. But there may be priests here and there. What I want is that there should be some people who know the language in future also, so that it may not die out. Not only that, you see, this is the continuation of the language spoken by Jesus Christ. No? He spoke Aramaic, and that Aramaic developed into the present day Syriac. No language is static. It will develop during the centuries. And at first these Christians were called Aramaic Christians, but afterwards, since they were also pagans, the Christians preferred the word Syriac because it was already in existence because of the Greek translation of Aram. So in Greek translation, Aram is called Syria. Aramaic is called Syriac. Therefore, that is how this came into existence. And in the early centuries, when there were also pagans who were called Aramaeans, the Christians wanted to have this Syriac as their designation. That is how it happened. But the language is the same.
Okay. Shall we conclude by, if you could say, the Our Father in Syriac?
Yeah. You see, before coming to the Our Father, I would like to say that in the older tradition, we were reciting the Our Father with two canonas or two separate tri-holy chants. So that is very important. People do not understand why this is long, and therefore they want to eliminate this. But you see, this was a sacred prayer, and therefore they wanted to make it introduced by quoting the tri-holy chant of the angels, and these can. And afterwards the holy prayer is recited. Then afterwards again the tri-holy chant is recited, because this is so sacred. But because the people do not understand why these two canonas are added, they simply eliminate all these things. That is the problem. And I shall recite the central portion, that is Avund Vishmaya Deskandashmak Dese Malkusah Nahave Saviana, Aikenad Vachmaya, Ab Baraa, Howlan Lahamad Sunakan and Yaumana, Vashvokalin, Haubain Wahatahain, Aikenad Ab Hanan Shwakin Lahayabain, Ula Tayelain La Nasiona, Ella Pasan Min Pisha, Matol Gadila Ki Malpusa, Uhaila, Useshibavata, Le Alam, Almin, Amen. So the last portion must have been added later, I think, no?
Yes.
Because of the liturgical prayer like that. No? And you see, I wish to add to this that the recital of Ula Kalayail. So in St. Matthew's Gospel it is Ula Talan, but in St. Luke's Gospel it is Ula Kalayail. Both have the same meaning because that is a kind of a verbal suffix added to it. To two forms, both are correct. And in ancient times, our fathers were singing Ula Kalayail because that would go with the rhythm. Do not make us enter into temptation. Illa nesiona. That is the thing. But in St. Matthew's Gospel, it is Ula Talan. Therefore, they are now reciting, making people learn it by heart, like Ula Talan. So that is given also in the renewed text of the Holy Mass. Ula Kalayail is not given there. But in the olden times, our fathers were singing Ula Kalayail. Both are correct. That is the thing.
Thank you so much for your time, and this was great. It was a pleasant surprise that you came up with melodies that were stored in your brain many years ago, and it just came out during this interview, and we wouldn't have heard unless you told us about it. So thank you so much.